Alright, you know what? I am sorry. It has been 3 days. 3 days since the shooting. And this is a picture of this alley who is apparently to explain the blood trail leading from my analysis and others into the theater from the back. Now, Obama popped out this story about Allie, even saying, you know what, I'm just going to quote it, even saying that he had never, that the story he doesn't think has been told before, or that he hasn't heard this story before. No, he says, I don't think this story has been heard, at least I hadn't read it yet. Right, so he's actually saying nobody's probably even heard it. Then he goes on to say, I'm just pointing out the important things here. This is what he said. This is his like press conference in the hospital with actually all the other guys who I think are in on this. He said, when the gunman initially came in, he threw the canisters. So he's trying to back up that the gunman threw both the canisters. Why would he do that? Well, we have a couple witnesses basically saying that one of the canisters did not or could not have come from, literally they're saying like could not have come from him. That's why they were under the assumption that there was a second person. Going on, he says, continuing, skipping some lines, and she was shot in the neck, and it punctured a vein, and immediately started spurting blood. Right? Like, he has to explain that it's spurting blood. So, Stephanie, Allie's friend, 21 years old, had the presence of mind to drop down on the ground with her, pull her out, and then she place her fingers over where Allie had been wounded and applied pressure the entire time while the gunman was still shooting. Then she says that Stephanie refused to leave her and called 911. So here we know that 911 was called when the shooter was still shooting. And what do we know about the cops? The cops showed up in literally 60 to 90 seconds, a minute to a minute and a half. Okay? So then he says a SWAT team came in. He said once the SWAT team came in, they were still trying to clear the theater. I don't know what that means. The official story is that the perp, that the shooter, probably Holmes, was out in the parking lot. Right? So the shooter was supposed to be out in the parking lot. The SWAT team, now it's a SWAT team, right? The SWAT team came in. Now I can understand police being dispatched and getting there within a minute and a half. A SWAT team coming in, this is, I think, his attempt to try to explain the riot shield, which has not been accounted for. There's a riot shield in the photos of the back. Okay? Along with the assault rifle, which does not have a drum, but has a magazine. Okay? So, just continuing here, let's pause and think about this claim that there's a SWAT team that came in, and this girl is apparently gushing significant amounts of blood. I mean, if you look at the blood that's in the back door, you'll see it. Now, why would this girl take this other girl and run out the back door? How much time has passed here that she thinks that it's safe to go out the back door when everyone else is heading out the front, right? Because the shooter apparently would have went in. Like, she's thinking, I got to get her to safety, so I'm going to go out the back door where no one else went. Now this right here confirms that he's saying that they went out the back. Ready? He says, Stephanie then, with the help of several others, carries Allie across 2 parking lots where the ambulance is waiting. So, you would not be going across parking lots going out the front. You'd be right there with the ambulance, probably as you got out of the theater section, right up there into the lobby you would have been in the ambulance. But she goes out the back door where the perp went, carries her across 2 parking lots. So she went out the back door, and she's apparently spurting blood to such an extent that it is like, I'm talking like cups at a time. Just look at the photos, okay, to where the ambulance is waiting. You know, he plugs this line in, and he tries to make it like the reason that he's giving it is it's heroic, but really what he's doing is he's trying to cover up a story that was blown. You know, it was basically blown yesterday. I mean, and so, you know, if you're out there, your alternative media and your mainstream media, and you're somebody who has a voice, please, this is the time. You've got to get it out there. But the reason that I'm making this video, besides the fact of Obama's reaction, I cannot believe they went ahead and then continued to try to back up the story today. Right? So he made the speech 13 hours after I uploaded it, and he did it like, you know, and then it got pinned on like a major conspiracy theory forum, the Godlike Productions forum. It got pinned, which means that it just went up thousands of views, you know, in less than an hour. Okay, so that's like conspiracy theory people saw it, knew it, they knew to attack it, and so, like, you know, they had about a 10-hour window to come up with something, and this is what they came up with. They have to, you know, substantiate. They have to provide some sort of reason. Okay, but I'm digressing. This is what I want to show you. This is the picture. Now look at that. It has been 3 days. 3 days. And this girl, so-called Allie, with a so-called wound, is a gunshot wound, is apparently a, you know, it's not even red. You know, here's another picture of a guy who has, it appears, either a neck or an upper chest wound, and it is dressed. Hospitals are notorious for having, like, basically flesh-eating bacteria all over the place, MRSA. And that if your, you know, immune system is compromised, it will, you know, get in your system and cause a staph infection. But you must understand, like, so everything has to be dressed. Like, the hospital knows to keep everything covered, but hers is just openly being displayed. Like, here's the girl with the neck wound, and it's not even red, and it's like fully sealed. I don't even see the stitches on it. This is a prosthetic scar. However, look at, you know, I mean, I got bit on my leg by my cat, a puncture wound, a week ago, and it's like still a scab, okay? Not only that, but it just, you know, like, I don't know how to explain this. It swells, you know, it's like red all over the place. You know, it's my thing is healed up now, but it's still got like a little scab there. But all I'm saying is that this is a gunshot wound, right? I mean, I suppose they, you know, just giving them something, you would think it would be like a shotgun pellet or something like that. However, like, he's so close that, you know, I'm not going to dispute whatever, but because this is just obviously fake. This scar is a fake scar. You know what? If you're out there, please say something. Please, they're getting hit up with so much, like, this is causing them to trip big time. Something went down in that back parking lot, and now they are confirmed. I mean, they are just definitely covering it up. They could have, I could have thought of ways better than this to cover it up. We have got to say something.